forgot how to do my job for 1 second. Some people might say I forget how to do my job all the time. But either way, I am here and thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. We are going to have fun tonight because there's not much news out there and it's Thanksgiving week. And so we're going to have a little bit of fun. And I appreciate everybody who is sticking with me here on Tuesday night. You can watch on Facebook if you want. If you want to put it on your TV, you can put it on YouTube. You can go to Facebook 97.3 The Fan. You could go to the Skraby Show on YouTube. You can go to 97.3 The Fan on YouTube, X 97.3 The Fan SD, and you can also use the Odyssey app. Now, I will get to some Padres stuff here in just a second, but Bubba, aka Renee, said, Skraby, I watched it. I don't think Love is Blind. You know, if you missed it a couple weeks ago, I said I don't know why I like Love is Blind on Netflix, but it's like one of the only dating reality shows that I watch. And Love is Blind, the basic premise of it is you don't get to see each other. You just get to talk through like a wall, and you don't get to see them until you propose to them. So, and it's only like in a 2-week span, 3-week span, and they go on these vacations to, Mexico, and they have these great things, and then they have to come back and then live their real lives, which is my favorite part of the show. But Love is Blind this year. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it just did not work out for anyone involved. Well, no, that's not true. I'm not talking about the end of the show, but it just seems like these people were dragged through the coals. I wouldn't personally ever want to do that show. I would not want to do it mainly because I don't want my entire love life out there on a TV show. That's definitely something that I do not want because my love life is great, but I just don't want people to know about it. But the other thing I wouldn't do is propose to someone without having seen them and only after meeting them and talking to them for like 2 weeks. That's just not something I'm willing to do. I think the show, when it first came out and they did this, I think it was an interesting premise because you were marrying someone that you've never seen before. And there's actually, I think, one couple from the season number 1 who is still together. But I think where they make the mistake is that they don't allow more time. They need more time to make sure this is the person that you want to marry. Because when you're standing up at the altar, I know it's all about the TV show. Will they say yes? Will they say no? But they just need more time. Stop forcing people to get married. And I understand they know what they're doing. I also get a little angry at the Love is Blind contestants who are like mad that they were told what to do on a TV show. It's very strange. It's, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Renee says, I mean, relationships are all about commitment because it's not always honeymoon stage. I understand that. And that's why I like the show where they go and they start living together in their real lives and they go to their jobs and everything like that. That's when you see the real stuff. That's when you know who's going to make it and who's not. Because when things get stressful, people start checking out. Anyway, thank you, Renee, for the first 3 minutes of the show being Love is Blind. I wouldn't have it any other way. Throughout the show, we're going to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving, the holiday, and the most popular sides by state. I saw that earlier, so we'll do that at the end of the show. We'll also do, at the end of the show, the daily gripe, but I think I might change it today to the daily thankfulness, just for today. I know that doesn't really roll off the tongue like the daily gripe does, but the daily thankfulness. We'll go and do that at the end of the show. KG says the stage where you look at one another lovingly and say, I hate the way you breathe. That's funny. That is funny because I'm going to get there one day in my relationship. I just know it. KG, I want a reality show that shows people that have been married for a really long time. That would be hilarious. Anyway, we'll get to the Padres stuff, but I'm going to start with SDFC. I think that's the big story of the day. Watched the game last night. It looked amazing down there at Snapdragon. And I still cannot get over that goal save at the 46th minute. Like, that was incredible. And I know that for people who've been watching soccer for a long time, that may not been as incredible as I'm making it to be, but that saved the game, number one. And it was what Mikey Vera said was right. It just shows the willingness to go above and beyond to make it, to will your team to a win. And that's exactly what happened. So Anders Dreyer, he scores the goal that wins the game. And it's, I'm not really a soccer expert, but it seems like with SDFC, the people or the players, they just get it. Like, they are all on the same page. We've talked about this from the Padres before, but they're all, and I think Manny has said it before, you got to pull on the same side of the rope. And that seems what SDFC is doing. And that's why they've been so good. And it's pretty darn crazy that they're going to a conference final here on November 29th. I got to say, I did not expect for SDFC to be as good or as exciting as it was this year. I thought maybe they would need some they would need some time to build up in town or get some players and things like that. But no, they have jumped out of the gate and they're on their way to the MLS, or the conference final, I should say. Oh, J Max says they've been good, but also the MLS this year has been weak. That's fine. That's fine. It's like the Patriots schedule. You can't say anything bad about the Patriots, especially if you point out that their schedule, they don't play winning teams at all. So the streak. I know I keep digging myself into a deeper hole with this Patriots aren't that good thing. But I mean, if you look at the Patriots schedule, you see how many teams that they've played that are good, and you won't find many. They started the season 1-2. And they lost to the Raiders in week 1 at home. And they lost to the Steelers in week 3 at home. So you lose to the Raiders. They look like the worst team in the NFL. Can't say that. The Titans look like that. But the Raiders are bad. But if you look at what the Patriots are doing, they're beating teams. Okay, well, now I've talked about it so much, I'm going to go get the Patriots schedule because I can't just keep referencing the schedule and not having any information. This is the type of show we're going to get tonight. It's just going to be on the fly, everybody. We're just going to do this on the fly. So they lost to the Raiders to start the season. They beat the Dolphins by 6 in week 2. They lost to the Steelers. Then they beat Carolina, which I'm not sure about Carolina. Then they beat Buffalo on Sunday Night Football at Buffalo, which I'm not really sure about Buffalo either, but that's a good win. I'll give them that. They went to Buffalo. They beat up on a division opponent. That's a good win. Week 6, they played at New Orleans. They won 25-19, so barely escaped there. October 19th, week 7, they played Tennessee, 31-13. October 26th. Now, Cleveland does have a great defense, but Drake May is pretty good too. They beat the Browns 32-13. Then they beat the Atlanta Falcons 24-23. Then they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa, and Tampa had some injuries, 28-23. Then they beat the Jets. Then they beat the Bengals. They play the Giants this coming week on Monday Night Football, and then they have a bye, just like the 49ers. It's like the craziest late week bye I've ever seen. And then they play some decent teams: Buffalo, Baltimore, New York, and Miami. So it's interesting to me how in sports we crown teams, we crown them without actually having any indication of whether or not they're going to go deep in the playoffs. I mean, I'm seeing all these people on TV. The Patriots are Super Bowl bound. The Patriots have a Super Bowl caliber roster. It's not my favorite thing to talk about, honestly, because I think they're going to go one and done in the playoffs. Sorry to all the Patriots fans out there. You had your time. Patriots had like their time for 20 years. So now it's time for me to talk trash about the Patriots. J Max says, Skraby, how do you feel about Purdy being back? Would you rather have had Big Mac continue at the helm? No, I would not. Because if you look at the two guys, last night, Brock Purdy played terrible in the Monday Night Football game. Just awful. 3 interceptions in the first half. And then after the game, of course, I went clamoring for the post-game media to see what he had to say about it. And he said he was happy with all those throws. He just didn't put it where he needed to. And I'm like, all right, well, you shouldn't be happy with those throws. There was 3 interceptions. But if you look at Mac Jones, you look at Brock Purdy, you can see that Brock Purdy just has one aspect of his game that's better than Mac Jones, and that's being able to move and being able to run. Mac Jones can't really do that, and he was nursing a sore knee pretty much all the time he was starting. Now, Mac Jones was a great backup quarterback while Brock Purdy was out. But outside of last night, I do think Brock Purdy is the better quarterback out of the two. Mac Jones is going to get a starting look somewhere. He's going to be traded, I would think, over the offseason. I'm assuming that he wants to be a starting quarterback again. And I guess the thing to do is when your career as a quarterback goes down the tubes, you go to San Francisco and you be a backup, and Kyle Shanahan gets you on the right track. It's happened with Sam Darnold, and it has happened with, why am I all of a sudden blanking on it? I'm blanking on the other one that they had. Why am I blanking on it? Anyway, I just think Brock Purdy's better. So that's a little biased, but not really. All right. This is the Skraby Show. Matt Skraby, 97.3 The Fan. We are going to come back and we're going to talk about the Padres adding a bench coach and a hitting coach. So I will get ready for the hitting coach comments, but when we get back, we'll break that down. Also, one Black Friday 2025 free agent deal for every MLB team. The Athletic wrote about it. We'll talk about it when we get back here on the Skraby Show. Matt Skraby, 97.3 The Fan, Skraby Show, final show of the week for Gwen and Chris and Skraby shows. All guests on 97.3 The Fan join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Thank you to Deborah for suggesting a name of the new one day only thankfulness segment at the end of the show. And I should have thought about this because it's part of like AA and all that. But the daily gratitude. I like it, Deborah. Thank you very much. So I'll go with the daily gratitude at the end of the show. I also kind of sort of want to rant about here's how the tweet starts. How the golf cart destroyed American golf culture. I have many thoughts about this. And you know what? I don't think this person is wrong. So maybe we'll get to that in a little bit as well. But we should talk about the Padres adding a couple coaches to their staff. And we should say that Randy Knorr is going to be the bench coach, and Steven Souza Jr. will be the hitting coach. Now, Craig Stammen is very familiar with both guys because Craig Stammen played on the Nationals when Knorr served as the bench coach for them from 2012 to 2015. He worked under Davey Johnson and Matt Williams. He served in various roles from 2016 through this past season. He's been a bullpen coach, a first base coach, catching coordinator, minor league manager, also worked as an advisor in player development. Now, when I saw this news come down, I did have to Google who Randy Knorr was. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad move. Because, again, I've said this about the Craig Stammen hire, and I'm going to say it again, and then we revisit as the season goes along. But I'm going to have to wait and see. I'm going to have to wait and see how these guys do. I don't really know that I had a name of bench coach in my head for who they should hire, but I do find it slightly concerning that these two guys are, guys that Craig Stammen seemingly maybe not handpicked, but suggested. And I don't know that for sure, but he has a relationship with both of them. So I do think that's a good thing. But the concern for me is that these guys aren't going to be up for the job. If Randy Knorr, here's how I look at things with where people are at in their career. Because Randy Knorr was the bench coach from 2012 through 2015, but why from 2016 to now, did he get removed from the bench coach and just kind of served as a coach for a bunch of different things? Now, I don't know his history, so maybe there was something where he needed to step down from so much commitment, and so he wanted to go with this other stuff. But that doesn't necessarily give me the great feelings that I was thinking. Again, I don't really know who would have been a great bench coach. Maybe Randy Knorr is going to be the perfect guy for this thing. I don't know. I mean, you still got Ruben Niebla, who's the associate manager. So if you're looking at titles, I would assume that associate manager is above bench coach. But I'm just I'm just not really. Well, KG loves this. The Rays are one of, if not the best run organizations in the league, and we just got one of their guys. I don't know. I don't know that this is going to be. It doesn't. I don't know that this is going to rub off. And I believe you're talking about Steven Souza Jr., who is a former player who has never coached before. So he's going to be a rookie hitting coach. He spent the last year as a special advisor for hitting development for the Rays, and he's been running instructional programs. Like, having him from the Rays is great, but I just don't know that this was my favorite move in the world. I'm not trying to say either way that they're bad hires, because I just don't know. But it's not. I expected maybe someone with a little bit more cachet to their name than Randy Knorr. And I'm not trashing Randy Knorr at all. I've looked at his resume. He seems like he has, he's been around baseball for a long time, so maybe that is the right guy that they want. Someone who has a baseball background in coaching and has a little bit of instinct, maybe. But I got to see this in action before I judge it. And this is just going to be like what we all, I think, have to go through leading up into the season. We can't make any snap judgments, because what if at the end of the year we all say this is the worst coaching staff in baseball? At the end of the year, they win 90 plus games to go to a World Series. Then, that makes me look dumb. I'm happy to have the coaching staff filled out. I hate to say the word underwhelmed, because again, I don't know that I had a better name in mind. So I guess maybe I'm a little unfair by saying underwhelmed here, but I have seen many people very, very angry with the hitting coach over the years. And I don't know that a guy who's never coached, like been a hitting coach at the major league level, I don't know how he's going to do. But I want to see the same energy on the hitting coach, though. I do, because Victor Rodriguez took a beating from everyone. So I'm hoping not to have issues with the hitting next year. But I want to see the same energy, because it seems like everybody was getting on Victor Rodriguez when, honestly, I don't even, and here I am kind of discounting my own theory. I don't even know how much a hitting coach does. I don't know. KG's back. KG loves this move, which is and you can go on the chat if you would like at the Skraby show. But KG was a big hater of Victor Rodriguez, but he's really sold on this. Skraby, think of it this way: the Rays will only ever spend money when it is genuinely worth it. This guy was in their hitting development. That means he knows his stuff. But I don't know. I don't know that he knows his stuff. How long, just because he's a hitting development instructor doesn't mean that he's great. And I don't know why I'm so, I don't know why I'm so stuck on the fact that there's no experience behind it. So I just didn't expect for them to go with a hitting coach that has no experience. And if he's great, I hope he is. I really do. I really do. I'm not saying he's going to do bad. I'm just saying I have no idea what's going to happen, which is interesting. Randy Knorr, no idea what's going to happen. Knorr played in the majors, so he has playing experience. So did Steven Souza Jr. He played. He was in that trade with Will Myers back in the day. But we'll have to, just take it as it comes with us in the Padres, because we're just not sure how next year's going to look. I feel like I'm catastrophizing things, and I'm not, because the coaching staff is not going to be the reason that they don't get to the playoffs. I'm hoping, because mostly, and I've said this about baseball many times, it's on the players. The coaching staff puts them in the right spots, but it's on the players to execute. So can the players execute next year? Or is the coaching staff going to be able to work with each player individually? There's a lot of unknowns for me, and I think there we go. I just figured it out. I don't like the unknown, and the unknown here is scaring me. And so that's why I think I'm feeling the way I am about this whole hitting coach, bench coach situation, because the unknown is scary. But really, honestly, every year you go into sports is unknown. So I could have just talked in circles for the last 10 minutes and everything's going to be fine, which I hope it is. But this is, not what I thought. Not what I thought. And again, I don't really know what I expected, but not what I thought at all. I thought there was going to be more. I guess when I say I don't know what I expected, I'm talking about names, but I think there's going to. I thought there would be more checks and balances within the coaching staff. And again, I don't know that's not going to happen. J-Max says, we have the biggest unknown problem, which is we don't know who's going to own the organization. That is tough. That is very tough, actually. But hey, they said they're going to put the best foot forward for 2026. I believe it. I think they want to win because if that's the case, they want to sell the team. They want to win because it'll make it more valuable. So I think those little news bites are news bites that are going to be happening sprinkled in here throughout the off season. Now, quickly back to the Athletic article about a Black Friday 2025 free agent. I said this earlier. I saw all these great names on the list, and then I come to the Padres, and Chris Bassett was their guy. And Tony really likes Chris Bassett. And of course, I'm going to, probably go on Tony's side with these things. Chris Bassett started 31 games last year. Chris Bassett just pitched in high leverage situations in the World Series. So if this is something that the Padres do, I'm not going to hate it. I'm not going to hate it. If he could just do his job and, do it for a right price, I could see them bringing in Chris Bassett. But unfortunately, I think these are the type of names that we're going to get. Maybe not guys nearing the end of their career, but I think we're going to get names that we're not going to get the big names, which I'm fine with because there's already so many big names. SB Fly says something smart. Perhaps this is one way the Padres save a little money on the coaching staff. It's definitely why. I can't read that. The Skraby show is my favorite part of my day. And do you know when AJ is going to get signed? Oh, name is Diego. Made this account when I was 8. Well, hey, Diego, thank you for listening. Do I think do I know when AJ is going to get signed? I don't. But I keep hearing that they're working on it. And so I hope that they are working on it. I think by the time winter meetings rolls around and we haven't heard any definitive news on anything, I think that's time to worry. I think that's time to worry when we get to winter meetings. Even though AJ's still under contract for one more year, I'm not sure what's holding things up. Maybe they're trying to fill out the coaching staff first. Maybe that's more important to them, which I could see because AJ is under contract for 2026. We also have the strike looming after next season. So there's lots of different things in the air that are working for the Padres and working against the Padres. Merrill Kelly. I like Merrill Kelly as an option if he is for the right price. He pitched really well for the Diamondbacks last year. I believe he's been a Padre killer. So get him on the team. But they need pitching, and guys like that can be useful. We saw Martin Perez a couple years ago come in and be useful. So it's not like it's the wrong thing to do by bringing these guys in. But it's not about, sorry, I'm trying to read the chat and talk at the same time. It's a Tuesday before Thanksgiving show. But where was I going to go with this? I need to stop reading. Anyway, I think that things are going to move in the direction we need it to move, but I am going to keep my judge, jury, and executioner hat off until I've seen a little bit of baseball being played. Dominic says Kelly already said he's not interested in leaving Arizona. Well, do you want to play for a team that has a good pitcher's park? That would be the Padres, Mr. Kelly. That would be the Padres. All right, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, people. I'm all over the place. When we get back, why the golf cart is ruining American culture and the most popular sides for Thanksgiving by state. We'll finish up the Skraby show in a weird way. Final segment of the Skraby Show. 97.3 The Fan. Thank you for joining me. I told you it was going to be all over the place when we started, and I have not lied one bit. But I do have some good news to pass along to everyone. Maybe the Michigan basketball team is just really, really, really good. Because right now, Michigan is up on Auburn at halftime, 59-31. So Aztecs get beat by 40 last night. Maybe that's just because Michigan is very, very good. We'll see how the rest of the game turns out, but they're almost up 30 by halftime. I think the Aztecs at least have like a 15-point deficit at halftime. So I like that. I like seeing that because it makes me feel a little bit better about how bad the Aztecs played yesterday. And Mark Ziegler was on earlier. He was on at 5 p.m. with us, and he mentioned something that kind of sent a shiver down my spine. And that was that they didn't play with any heart. They didn't play with any urgency, which is not the characteristic of an Aztec basketball team. So they play tonight. They play Oregon. I believe it's at 8, possibly 8:30. Way later than I would like to stay up because I usually go to bed at like 10 or something like that. But I will be watching the Aztec game. It's at 8. So they're going to be playing Oregon. Oregon lost yesterday as well. So this is a winnable game, I think. It's a winnable game, I think. We'll see. But just wanted to bring that to all of you that maybe the Aztecs aren't that bad. Maybe Michigan is just really that good. I'm really good at the spin stuff today. Really good at the spin stuff. All right. We still got to get to our most popular sites, which I, during the break, went and looked at 3 more articles about this just to make sure I was getting it all. But they're all basically the same. So we'll go over that. The Daily Gratitude is going to be at the end of the show instead of the Daily Gripe. But I wanted to start with this guy's tweet. It's at Top 100 Rick, TOP100 Rick. Can't say anything about his account other than the fact that I came across this post and I agree with him to an extent. Now, the disclaimer on this is I play in like this isn't a you suck if you play in a golf cart because sometimes golf carts are necessary. I have grown up realizing that golf was meant to be walked. And I know that's just not a possibility for everyone. Time constraints, length of the walk on the golf course, carrying your bag, all of that stuff. I get it. Sometimes you just want to take a cart. But, taking from this guy's post, the USA is the one with the problems, which is not shocking to me whatsoever. In the UK and Australia, golf is seen as a healthy social hobby. It's kind of like a nature walk while hitting a golf ball and then a beer with friends afterwards. In America, it's called a lazy man's game, and you drive around just getting smashed. It's slow and often tense. It's like sitting in traffic. That's how it's looked upon in America, which I don't look that way upon it because I know that golf is a great game. But here is how he said golf cart hurt the American game. Takes away from the health benefits. Horrible for the turf. Yes, horrible for the turf. And when you got guys who don't care, guys or gals who don't care about the turf, they make it even worse. Makes expensive and ugly cart paths mandatory. I don't really have that big of an issue with that. Allows for more drinking in the cart. Most don't want to get drunk while walking. That is true. I did most of actually, when I was a drinker, I usually went and played golf so that I didn't drink. It was like my escape place. So I'm kind of backwards on that. It also allows for bad golf course design, which I would need to get into a little bit more to agree or disagree with that. But if you go to expensive golf courses, you're not allowed to ride in a cart. You have to walk, and sometimes you get a little hand cart behind you. But it's I will say that the last couple times I've golfed, I feel like maybe this is just me feeling like this all over my life, but it feels like there have been more and more people that are like, don't care, doing what I want. And on a golf course, that's extremely frustrating. There's something called golf etiquette, and it's just knowing how to play the game in an efficient way. Like last time I was golfing, there was a group in front of us that they were in a cart, and there was a guy, let's just say there was a guy on the left side of the fairway, and there's a guy on the right side of the fairway. So they go to the left side of the fairway, they wait for the guy to hit his ball, and then they drive over, and then the guy gets his yardage, and then he hits it. That's an extra like 3 or 4 minutes that we just don't need. And so what should be done is one of two things. A, guy who hit the ball to the left goes to his ball and gets his club, and then the other player goes to their ball using the cart. Or you figure out your yardage if your ball's on the right side, you grab your club and you walk over there. You walk over to your ball and you're ready to hit. Like my grandpa drilled golf etiquette into my head, just drilled it into my head. And not to mention, here we're getting on old man corner. Not to mention I am not a music in the golf cart guy. I'm not really a music person in general, so this might just be me, but I can't stand hearing everybody's music on the golf course. I know this makes me sound like I'm 5,000 years old, but I don't need to hear all of the country. I don't need to hear the rap. I don't need to hear any of that. I don't understand why everything has to be so extra. I don't even know if they use that word anymore. KG says ripples from COVID. Probably ripples from COVID. People forgot how to like live during COVID. But anyway, this tweet comes out at the end. If you have never tried walking on the golf course, try it. Grab a handcart, go out there. Choose a course that's an easy walk. I bet you like it more. I do. I choose. I like to walk. I know that Ben Higgins walks when he can. Maybe not anymore. That was a couple years ago that he walked Torrey while we were playing Torrey, which is crazy because Torrey's a long walk and it's a hilly walk. So I can understand a golf cart there because that's like a 3 or 4 or 5 mile walk with about 30, 40 pounds on your back. But try it. Go try to walk on the golf course. Don't take a cart if you can. I understand that some people don't. You know, my grandpa had, he was having a hard time walking there at the end. So I understand. If you need the cart for a reason, that's fine. Just don't get the cart and just get wasted and try to do donuts in the middle of the fairway. Cole says, with the pace of play at some of these goat tracks, I ain't got time to walk 18, let alone drive 9. I get it. I miss walking, though. I'm with you, Scrapes. Thank you. I try to walk as much as I can. But yeah, golf should not take 6 hours to play. Golf is a easily 4-hour to 4.5-hour round if people knew what they were doing. That's what it is. If people knew what they were doing, it would be much easier, and people wouldn't have to deal with all of the craziness on the golf course. So I agree with you, Top 100 Rick. Golf carts have destroyed American golf culture. All right, let's get to the sides. Now we get to the fun stuff. Oh, Michael says, oh, hey, what's up, Michael? Playing in 4 hours to 4.5 hours is fine. People that are trying to rush through everything is what is hard. Yeah, I mean, I could honestly one time, a couple times, I've played golf 18 holes on a public golf course in less than 4 hours. I'm just ready to go. That's what everybody should be. Golf ready. Be ready. Oscar says, I thought doing donuts in the cart was the fun part of playing golf. You could do your donuts elsewhere. Just don't do it on the golf course. Eric says, e-bikes has killed the bicycle. Don't even get me started on the e-bikes. I just can't get into it. Trust me. Okay. The top Thanksgiving sides by state. And this was done recently, a poll. And there's 5 items on here that have been brought up, which a couple of them, well, at least one of them, I didn't even really I didn't know that they were a Thanksgiving food. But majority of states, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 7 states that are different, but the rest of the states chose stuffing as their favorite Thanksgiving side. I do not like stuffing. I know, it's crazy. People tell me I'm crazy all the time that I don't like stuffing. There's something about putting a stuffing into the turkey and then eating it after it's been cooked that really bothers me. And I don't know. I mean, that's a me thing for sure. But I'm not into stuffing. I just can't do it. I don't eat stuffing at Thanksgiving. So if you come over for Thanksgiving one day, you can have all the stuffing. All right, California was a stuffing state, which is disappointing to me. Nevada had something very interesting, but cranberry sauce. Cranberry sauce is their favorite Thanksgiving side. Sorry. I like cranberry sauce. And you got to have the cranberry sauce out of the can. It's just how it goes. You got to have those little lines on it from the can. Montana, Wyoming, Alaska, and Louisiana, green bean casserole, which I am not a fan of. I like green beans, but for some reason, ever since I was little, the casserole has just grossed me out. Thanksgiving food in general is not really my forte. It's not like my favorite type of food, so it shouldn't surprise you. Now, there's only one state with this, but I cannot believe I've never had this at Thanksgiving, but New Hampshire's favorite side on Thanksgiving is deviled eggs. Never heard of that before for a Thanksgiving treat. And then the final 2 states, Mississippi and Iowa, they like sweet potato casserole. Does it shock you? I don't like sweet potato casserole. I like the marshmallows on top, but I don't like anything else. Now, you didn't hear my favorite side for Thanksgiving in that list. My favorite side, mashed potatoes. Why were the mashed potatoes not a part of this whole thing? I am a massive fan of mashed potatoes, and according to this whole list of things, 44 of the 50 states have mashed potatoes in the top 3 side items. Stuffing is in the top 3 side items for like 45 of the 50 states. And here's another one that I've never had at Thanksgiving, but I wish I've had at Thanksgiving. But mac and cheese, they're saying, is in the top 3 side items by 19 states. So I like mac and cheese. Give me some mac and cheese over stuffing any day. Give me that over stuffing, over green bean casserole, all of that stuff. Ambrosia salad I just got on the chat. I don't know that I've ever had an ambrosia salad before. Eric also says cream corn. Cream corn's okay. I could do cream corn. But I've never had an ambrosia salad, so maybe I'll have to have an ambrosia salad. But anyway, there you go. Those are the sides. Again, I'm not a big fan of the Thanksgiving food, which is kind of sacrilegious in this country. But I understand why people would be angry at me for that. I do.
What's annoying Skraby today? Let's find out. It's time for the Daily Gripe.
Wisconsin is definitely one of those mac and cheese states, KG. Definitely one of those. All right, it's not the Daily Gripe, it's the Daily Gratitude. And I will just say to everyone that I appreciate all of the nice things, and I'm thankful for everything that people support me with. And, you know, sometimes I get mean messages, and that's fine. It's part of the job. It's part of just being on social media in general. Everybody gets mean messages. But sometimes I get these mean messages, and I'm like, man, that's tough. I don't know if I should say this again. But then I think about all the nice things that have been said. And here's what I've been trying to do more lately is focus on the nice things instead of the mean things. Let the mean things go and recognize the nice things. Like Cole says, who's messaging mean stuff? There was a guy, I don't even know if it was a bot or who it was, but on Facebook for like a month, every single day, they would put, I hate your voice or something to that effect. It's weird. It's weird. But anyway, I'm grateful for everyone who makes, this show fun, for all the people that I've met through this job. I mean, I really like working with Tony and Chris. I like working on the station with Ben Woods and Braden Soprenet, Adam Klug, very good boss, Michael Valenzuela, very good boss. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has made the Skraby Show what it is, and Gwen and Chris what it is, and the station what it is. So there's my gratitude. Appreciate you all. I'm off the rest of the week. See you on Monday, or talk to you on Monday. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid. And make sure you are not on an e-bike this weekend. Have a great rest of your week, everybody.
Aztecs basketball is back, and the